Yo, what is up, guys? MattWic here. We are back in NHL 25 with our Testing the Draft Kings of Quebec. And if you missed last video, you should probably go check it out because we had an embarrassing loss in the first round of the NHL playoffs to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, they did not end up winning the cup, at least. The Florida Panthers did. It was pretty much a foregone conclusion that they were going to win the cup. They had a monster season. We would have liked to dethrone them. They took absolutely no time getting rid of the Toronto Maple Leafs, so that just shows you kind of how far away this team really is from being a playoff contender. And this draft is going to be a big one, boys. There's a lot of prospects in the first round that are NHL ready, specifically defensemen. So what I am going to do, it's going to be a little bit drastic, but we are going to be absolutely shredding our defense, trading them for first round picks, trying to move on from them and build this team with just our drafted guys. I think K'Andre Miller, his deal is up at the end of the season, so I don't know if we'll be able to flip him for enough. We might have to package some picks. We already have 2 first round picks, the 8th and I think the 27th, which we'll be able to snag some nice players with those picks there. But I think K'Andre Miller, we're going to try to move on from him, see if we can package some picks to get another top first pick. Romanov, we're going to move on from him to see if we can get a first round pick for him as well. Broberg, we're going to move on from him to get another first round pick if possible. And then a guy like Bachfist, he's someone who right now is a little bit questionable to me. I don't know if I'm going to want to keep him around. Thomas Harley's safe just because some people call him the Lord and Savior, and I want to give him a couple more years. Plus, I think he has a no move clause, so it's going to be pretty tough to move him if we do want to go that route. So the movement clauses may come into effect. I believe Miller and Romanov at least have partial no moves, so we'll see what teams we're able to shift them around to. A guy like Anton Lundell is another guy who I have question marks about right now. There are some nice center prospects that look pretty good, medium, elite, NHL ready guys, and we have a lot of prospects in the system who could come up and take that role. So I'm going to take a quick look at our contracts, who's in the system, who might be ready to come up, and see what moves I want to make. But I'll show you guys before we get into the draft just some of the players that I'm going to be targeting here. All right, guys, so like I said, we do have the 7th and the 26th picks here. So I'll show you some of the guys that I have been targeting. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to grab Nicholas Gunderson, who looks like a pretty solid defenseman. He's out of the QMJHL, but just with what I want to do, I don't really want to waste capital moving up a spot to grab a guy who's just a medium top 4. Now, with the development that we're able to pursue here in this new version of NHL with the guys that we've already had going to medium franchises, I think that we'd be able to grow a top 4 guy. But if, like I said, there's guys down below who we can snatch up, especially if we're able to trade a guy like K'Andre Miller and Romanov, who I just checked. Both of them had no move clauses. Went to the conversations, talked with both of them. They are willing to waive that and submit a team list. So we'll see what picks or what players or teams were able, rather, to send them to maybe pick up some extra picks. There are some studs at the back end of the draft that the skill assessment is not lying to me, so it would be nice. We're definitely going to pick up one of these guys with our pick. More than likely, it's going to be either Reitz or Skylar Reed, one of those two. More than likely is, again, Skylar Reed, just because of that QMJHL connection there. Reitz would be really nice, 6'5", almost NHL ready, confirmed. Victor Hedman, similar style, so he'd be a nice player to have. That would be those two guys would be the two that I would target the biggest if we're able to trade one of those two guys that I mentioned for a top pick. And then, like I said, there are some studs back here. So if we go to pick 26, this is 24, where's 26, there we go, Halverson. This guy looks like a beast. Right D, out of the SHL, shows that he might be NHL ready. Skill assessment kind of proves to that point. But then we go through, there is also a couple guys also here at the back end of this draft. Sergei Tikhonov is another guy, sniper. Looks like he's going to be NHL ready as well. Come out as like an 80, high 70s, something like that player. And then there is also one more guy. Let's see if I can find him. Albert Henry, lefty, 6'5", out of the OHL. He is for sure NHL ready, so we know at least he's going to be like a 78 overall. Skill assessment looks very good. So this, if any year was going to be a good one for our prospects or our team to implode, pretty much. So I really haven't cooled off since that loss. We're going to go ahead and make a big splash here in this one. Like I said, we're going to be blowing the team up. This series is mostly about building from the draft, building from within, and we've given this team enough time to kind of find itself, and it's just been, after we make it to a couple Stanley Cups, get kind of PP whacked in the finals. Didn't really put up much of a fight either time, and then we get massively PP whacked by Toronto there in the first round. I think it's time. Guys, like I said, like Toro is safe just because that first line played so well. I don't want to break them up with Ricky Combs, Powson, and him. I think it's from other spots that we're going to have to improve from, and I think the 90 overalls that we have on defense are a bit deceptive, especially seeing how they played in the Stanley Cup playoffs this last year. So let's get into the draft. I'm going to try to make some moves first, then I'll bring you guys in and fill you in on what I've been able to accomplish so far. All right, guys, so the moves were made, and it was a bloodbath in Quebec. Alexander Romanov, who was actually, he had a ton of trade value, which was pretty awesome. He did waive his clause only for one team, and then we went back in and said, hey, we want to trade you to the Kings. He said, what? That's not enough. And he did end up waiving it in the end, and we did move on from him, sending him to the Kings for 2 first-round picks, one this year, one next year. I also think for 2 seconds as well, so he brought us back a ton. Now, the reason for that was he is listed as a franchise defenseman. He's 93 overall, and he was on a 3-year deal for like $5.7 million. So very attractive player the Kings got there. Hopefully can boost their rebuild and get them going. We have another pick there taken. Holy shit, the first half of this draft is insane. So we have a franchise player here in Mohamed Jacobs, who I was thinking about when I saw Romanov's trade value and that he waived everything. I was like, do I try to trade up for that first overall pick? But I didn't want to be super cheesy, even though, like I said, this is all just building through the draft, so it really doesn't matter how we kind of get there. It's just that we do. But damn, now I'm seeing that, I'm regretting it a little bit, but I think we'll be fine. I think we have the forward prospects right now that we need, so I'll go back in here and show you guys. So like I said, we picked up a haul from LA, 2 firsts and 2 seconds, which was awesome. Keandre Miller was another guy. We had to ask him to waive his clause again, so obviously some of these players are going to be a little pissed at us. He wanted to go to Montreal only, and Montreal said, we don't want him because his contract's expiring, so I went back 1 pick to the New Jersey Devils and picked up that pick for him. So even though his contract is expiring, I guess they think they might be able to pull off a pick or a signing with him. Broberg, his contract also expires at the end of the year, so his value was super low, so we weren't able to move on for him for that Washington pick that I wanted. So we ended up trading our 2nd and a 4th. We have a plethora of 4ths. Now we have a plethora of 1sts. So it really wasn't the end of the world there to give up those picks. But now we have a ton of spots to fill. We have the 7th now and the 9th, so we should be able to pick up 2 of those awesome defensemen that we saw earlier. We also have the 24th and the 26th, so we'll be able to get 2 of those steals that I saw late in the draft. And then we have the 1st pick in the 2nd round as well, so we'll be able to grab that Terry guy, who looks like he could be a beast. So this is going to be a massive draft, guys, for our franchise, for the future of our franchise. A lot of people in Quebec are questioning my my judgment right now. You know, maybe I'm still on that, still pissed off after that playoff run, but I'm a very hot-headed, not very cool, I guess not very level-headed GM. I'm just a fly by the seat of the pants. These guys pissed me off, and that's what happens when you piss me off. You're out. So I want to bring in my guys. Let's see what happens here. So we got 2 picks in. Let's go back to our pick. Sim through here. 82 overall. This is a hell of a draft right now. So if we picked a good draft at least to absolutely implode, but a very nice player there for the St. Louis Blues. Let me check this Khudobin and see what he had. He is a playmaker, 83 overall. Some good numbers if he was playing over in Russia, which his name suggests. Fantastic skater, good awarenesses, decent shot, but man, playmaker. He's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with in the Eastern Conference. Let's see, San Jose, 83 overall. Now I'm really thinking I should have traded up for one of these picks because these would have been nice guys to have on that first line with Powson and Combs. But like I said, we needed to revamp the defense, and that's what we're going to do here. Pittsburgh, another 83 overall. What is this? This isn't the downloaded rosters either. We're at the point where this is all just created, guys, and this is absolutely insane. Lionel Buse, right wing, left wing. This would have been a nice guy to have on that first line with Powson and Combs. So yeah, like I said, a little disappointing right now, but I think we'll be okay. And then Gunderson goes there, 81 overall, right before our pick. We knew he was going to go there anyway. 2-way defender, though. That would have been nice. So let's take a look and see who we're able to grab. Also, obviously, I think this guy's going to be a bit of a, I wouldn't say bust. I mean, he looks pretty good compared to what we're able to get. This guy is definitely the bust, though. So let's go ahead. First guy off the board, we're going to grab Don Reitz, and then we're going to grab Skylar Reed after this pick. So a lot of R's coming in here to the Quebec system. So Don Reitz, hopefully 6'5", 208, 18 years of age, 2-bar medium elite, so we'll see, but that skill assessment looks great. Please don't let me down, buddy. Okay, 79 overall, medium top 4. That's kind of what we expected after seeing Gunderson come out as a medium top 4. But like I said, that's not a huge deal. We'll be able to grow this guy. He's already got good offensive and defensive awareness. We'll work on that puck skills a little bit of probably what we focus on, and the physicality. He's also a two-way defender, so he has the ability to put up points throughout a season instead of a defensive defenseman. Skating is already great, so we don't have to worry about that. Shot we'll work on during the season with his goals. Let's see who the New York Islanders pick here before we take Reed. 72 overall, Bryson McKenzie. So yeah, like I said, even though he was rated pretty high over these other guys, definitely a step down in talent, which we normally see between some of these picks. Now we have a decision to make. Harry Turco, Skylar Reed. Skylar Reed. Easy. Didn't even have to think about it. Get on my team from the queue. Let's see what it turns out to be. 78 overall defensive defenseman, but we are adding some size to the left side. Actually, not really. He's only 6 foot. I thought he was bigger than that, but it's good that he did put up some numbers down there. We'll definitely work on that offensive awareness and the puck skills, but everything else looks solid enough. It's going to be an interesting first season. He also has that ability too, so that's pretty cool to see. Let's see what some of the other defensemen that we passed on come out to be. Like I said, that Gerby guy, he was a bum. Top 6 high, 65 overall, so Seattle, good luck with that. Turco does come out to be a medium elite, but that skill assessment didn't lie to us. He was definitely not the high overall player that we wanted to bust into the system quickly. Young, he was also a solid player that I was looking at, but the other guy being out of the queue was kind of what made that factor for me. But this guy does look pretty solid as well, so maybe, and he's a two-way defender, so maybe we made a little bit of a mistake there because we have Galvin on the team already, who is a defensive defenseman. So let's see a couple more picks. We get Rod Cleary here, 66 overall, medium elite sniper to the Blackhawks. 77 overall. This was a guy, yeah, I saw him. I thought he was going to be a beast, but Grinder, I was just like, we don't really want to add that with a pick this high. You could find some decent grinders that are low, medium elite in the later picks, and then that's just always a tough play style to get points out of. So let's go ahead and send back to pick number 24 here. Call a quick timeout just so that we don't feel rushed to make any of our moves. Any guys come out to be a beast. 69 overall. What's this guy's name? Wade Wheeler. Hell of a name there, heading to Anaheim. 74 overall, Chase Crowder to Tampa Bay. That's a solid pick there. And then we've already seen those ones. So let's go ahead. We got a couple steals that I said that are in this late picks. We have Elliot Keefe, 6'1", left D. We already have a couple left Ds. NHL ready, though, which is cool. And we also have Ludvig Halvardsson, right D, NHL ready, possibly. Very good skill assessment. Let's see the differences between the two of them. So we have him a little bit more confirmed. I'm going to take the chance on Halvardsson here just because offensive defenseman possibilities, even though he didn't put up numbers, but he is playing against some good players over there in the SHL, and we need right defenseman now because we just took 2 left defensemen. So let's go ahead and grab him. Let's see what he comes out to be. 81 overall, low elite, arguably the best pick of the first round so far for us, and he has stepped right into the NHL kind of stats, so that is awesome to see. Two-way defender, which is a little disappointing. Great shot blocking. The awarenesses look great. The skating looks phenomenal. Puck skills are actually pretty solid. Physicality is good, so maybe just work on the shot a little bit and then put him on the power play. So I'm very happy with that pick. Let's see who the goddamn Toronto Maple Leafs take here. Medium elite, of course, Johnny Clarkson. What a name. Power forward there, but he'll be a couple of years away before he's ready to enter the NHL, but goddamn it, they hit on their pick. I think we'll probably end up taking Tikhonov here. He looks like a stud, possible sniper left wing. We'll try to work with him and get him into the right wing as well, because that's where the open spot would be on that first line. But I mean, him playing with Lundell and Koltsov wouldn't be too bad of an option either. So Sergei Tikhonov, get on the team. 81 overall, top 6. Let's go. This is a hell of a draft. So after that absolute, oh man, those shooting stats and that skating is really nice. Holy crap. We got ourselves a couple steals here. I think these 2 picks are better than the 2 picks that we had in the earlier part of the first round. This has been an insane draft, and we have one more pick to go here in the top half of this round before we get back to our later round picks. But I am very happy with what I'm seeing right now. This is talent that's going to go into the team immediately, so it might open us up to more trades come free agency of guys that we might want to move on from, like a Capo Caco or other guys like that we haven't drafted. So like I said, those guys are going to be first on the chopping block, but I am very happy with what I'm seeing right now. I think we're going to be pretty competitive. Obviously, young players, it's going to be tough, but I'm not too worried about it. I think we'll be okay. Let's take a look at the back half of that first round and see what we came out, or we missed on, I guess I should say. And it does not look like a whole lot. Low elite there for Vancouver, Edward Latowski. Good Polish name, power forward. That would have been a nice replacement on our first line. Keefe. So the other guy, Elliot Keefe, 79 overall, low elite. Defensive defenseman, though. We already have a defensive defenseman who's a lefty. We have 2 of them, in fact. So it's not the end of the world there that we missed on that guy, because we hit some bangers with those 2 picks there at the back half of the first round, which always shows, hey, if you want to, might be best to load up on some of those picks. But our next pick that we're going to go here, let me just look through some of these skill assessments just to see. There he is, Albert Henry. So this is who we wanted to. This is why we didn't take the other left D man, because we have this guy waiting in the wings. Left D, what's he say? 2-way defenseman. I'm going to say he's going to come out as a defensive defenseman, being that big. Let's just take a quick peek a little bit lower to make sure we're not missing out on anything else crazy from any of these forwards, because I saw possible low elites, but the skill assessments not really telling me that these guys are coming out to be absolute studs right off the bat. So let's go ahead. Albert Henry. I can't remember what I called him before. I definitely did not get that last name right, but let's go ahead. I think I called him Terry. So apologies, sir. OHL from the Brantford Bulldogs. Get on the team. Let's see what he comes out to be. 80 overall. Medium. Oh, baby. Thank you. That loss to Toronto was a sign from the draft gods to absolutely load up. So we have all of these prospects that we just got from ripping our team apart, and this isn't even counting in the guys we've drafted from the last couple of years who are almost ready, which is going to be insane to look at the prospect pool that we have. Now, I will say, what, 3-4 years from this draft is going to be hell, because we'll have to pay all these contracts up, but we'll get to that point when we get to it. Before then, we're going to focus on how many guys we can get up high overalls quickly so that we can make some Stanley Cup runs. And it's going to be even more true now that we actually have players that are all drafted by us. So it feels good that we're hitting on all these picks. We have the first pick in the 3rd round too, which is awesome. Let's see what some of these other guys came out to be. Pittsburgh Penguins with a hell of a draft so far. 2 elites, one of them being that 83 or 82 overall. Artem Jas, Jas. Hell of a pick there for Nashville, low elite. Another low elite. This might be the most loaded draft. 17-year-old right defenseman. Holy crap. This might be the most loaded draft I've seen so far in NHL 25. Like, there's been good drafts before, but like the talent that we're seeing come out, even we're still seeing medium top 4 guys come out. Another low elite, oh, of course, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So they're having themselves a day. Medium elite goaltender. Okay, so we're seeing a couple goaltenders come out too. Tyson Maroon, 6'3", high starter goaltender there for Carolina. Another medium elite goaltender, Jack Hopkins, 17 years of age, only 48 overall, so we'll see what he turns out to be. But let's see, how much time do we have left? 2 minutes. Let's take a look. I'm going to do the quick sort and just see. I don't think there were any guys. I think there were a couple low elite guys. Yeah, there were a few low elite guys, so we'll grab them come the 4th round. So this is going to be a massive draft for our system, boys. We also have Ricky Combs' little brother, but I don't know. He didn't play too good in the playoffs, so I don't know if he deserves to have his brother drafted by our team. So we'll wait on that and see if he falls to us at one of our spots when we're grabbing those other guys up. But let's see. Anybody else here? I don't think we're going to find any more 80 overall players. If we do, that'll be absolutely insane. We had 1 2-year ETA there. I might actually have to go call a timeout just because we spent a lot of time looking at some of those other picks. We had a Jemmy there, Lars Seidenberg, right D, 6'3", 20 years of age though, and his skill assessment does not look too good. If I'm going to take a pick that deep, I might as well just grab Combs, his brother. We have Jamison Hayes, who could be a low elite, 3 years away. Center right wing, I like the versatility, only 17 years of age, so that's a good option there. Stu Harrington, we know what he is. Low elite Jack Richardson here, 3 years away. No weaknesses, which is good. Grant Legwand for the Erie Otters, so right up the road from Pittsburgh here. Carpentier from the Q. Possible superstar abilities, but I doubt it. Marcel Carpentier or Jamison Hayes out of the WHL. I think this guy's going to be an elite, but we have ignored it for a while, and this guy has a hell of a name. I'm going to go ahead and grab him. He's got the 2 bars as well. How old is he? 18 years of age. Let's just do it. Let's not even think about it. Let's just do it. All right, 60 overall, top 6 forward. I bet that the other guy's gonna come out as a top 6. But I do love a center playmaker, so I'm not all too mad. Charpentier. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Someone let me know in the comments. Okay, and Haynes didn't come out as a low elite, so I'm very happy with the pick. Also a power forward, only 17 years of age, has a great shot compared to our guy. 76s. It's pretty close. It is what it is. So we'll see what those two develop as. I'm not upset at all about that pick. Do we have any more picks here in the round? We do not. So let's go ahead and sim back to the next round and take back a look at the third. We have the second overall pick in the 4th round. I don't know what I did to get all these picks, but I am always moving and shaking with those late round picks. So it's very infrequent that we actually have one of our own. Which, I mean, works out if you're going to be a Stanley Cup contender. Julian Springs there. I like the offensive defenseman coming off the board. Not seeing any more elites, so maybe that first 2 rounds were absolutely loaded. Lewis Lee, great name, going to the Washington Capitals. Medium elite goaltender, Alex McKinley. We already have our stockpile of elite goaltenders, so it's not the biggest thing in the world. 2 picks in between San Jose here. Let's see. They took Caden Combs, Ricky Combs' little brother, Sniper, too. That would have been a nice player to have on the team. 65 overall, so unfortunately did not fall to us, but hey, if Ricky Combs wanted his brother on the team, he could have played a little bit better. Lars Seidenberg still sitting here. Low elite gem, right D, 6'3", good size. 3 years away though, and he's already 20 years old, so it's kind of like meh. Or do we grab Clifford Sterling, little guy? Pretty good skill assessment comparatively to what the other guys looks like. So I think I'm gonna go with, let me see, what leagues are they in? The SHL. Man, that guy 6'3", that's a big boy. But 20 years of age, so it's already like he's already starting off on the back foot with his development. So that's not the greatest thing in the world. We could get him in the AHL quickly, but we did just grab a ton of prospects, so it's going to be quite a log jam to get players in there. So let's go with Clifford Sterling, 18 years of age. He's a little on the smaller side, but let's hope that he can turn out to be an offensive defenseman. 6'2", or 62 overall. He's actually smaller than 6'2", 5'8", but he is an offensive defenseman. So I will take that. Decent shot already, so good all-around stats. We can work him up. Like I said, we have 2 years of extra development coming out, depending on what that Seidenberg comes out to be. Yeah, 65 overall, and he's already 2 years older than him, a defensive defenseman. No, would have been a waste pick. I'm not upset about that at all. We have another pick actually here, so Sharks us, which is a little interesting there. But let's go ahead. I think at this point is when we're just going to start ripping those low elites that we have scouted. Let me just see here. We do have one guy, Jamal Kang, 127, 3-bar medium elite. He has a great name, Jamal Kang, 17 years of age too. 5 years away, 3-bar medium elite. I have no information really on him. Skill assessment shows he's probably gonna come out to be like a 48 overall. I think we have one more pick here in the 4th, and those guys were rated pretty low. We do not have another pick here in the 4th. I traded it away, that is right. I don't think we have a pick in the 5th, which, I mean, we could always make a move to possibly move up into the 5th. Then we're getting pretty far back with some of these picks. So yeah, we have that pick there. You know what I might do? I'm going to go ahead and take this Kang guy right now, and then I'm going to do some more pieces of business to acquire some more picks. Like I said, we did pick up a plethora of picks for next year as well, so maybe I'll use one of those, find somebody that has a couple picks in the 4th or 5th round so we can grab some of those more low elites. So Jamal Kang, center, 6'1". Let me actually take a peek real fast just before I do this. Low elites. I want to see what positions they played. Left wing, center left wing, and left wing, and they're all going to come out as low overalls probably. Yes. 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. Okay, 63. Oh, man. 17 years old, 6'3", 203, Nasir Raffle. Hell of a name, so we'll definitely pick him up. But let's go ahead. Let's take the shot on Jamal Kang real quick, see what he comes out to be, and then we'll go grab some more picks. 52 overall medium top 6. I mean, the medium top 6 isn't terrible, but we would have hoped for a little bit more than that, seeing that mid-60s are still coming off the board. So, like I said, let me do some moves real quick, get some more picks for those low elites. I'll bring you guys right back in. All right, the moves are done. We ended up finding the Washington Capitals had 3 picks in the early 5th, so I gave them a second for next year's draft, which I feel like is plenty compensation. But we're going to pick up 3 low elites, so joke's on them. Let's go ahead and skip back. Let's see, we got pick 133, which should be the first one in the next round. I just want to make sure we don't miss any picks. So let's actually just play it safe and skip to that pick. Like I said, 1, 2, and a 3 in the 5th round there, which, I mean, giving up a second for that is kind of a lot, unless you know you're going to hit 3 low elites. So I will take that any day of the week. Let's take a quick peek back, just since we're not going to be doing a ton of, enforcer defenseman. Reese Varos, that's a hell of a name too. 20 years old though, so anybody else that we got here? Any more medium elite goaltenders? Does not look like it, but like I said, taking that Kang and then missing on that pick, especially could have grabbed a guy like this. 20 years of age, fuck him. So it looks like it wasn't too the end of the world. It wasn't too bad. We took a shot in the dark. It didn't pay off, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead. We got 3 guys to take care. We're going to take the coolest name first. We got Nasir Raffle, 6'3", 17 years of age. Probably going to come out as a low elite, 48 overall, like all these guys will. 52 overall. Grinder, too. Nice. So that is interesting to see, and he's got a lot of years to develop. But like I said, this the re-signing after this 3 years of this draft is going to be insane. It might put us in a bit of a pickle, but we'll get to that when we come to it. It's going to be so bad once we get to that point. Jared Farmer, cool name there. He's not going to be on our team, though. We're going to go ahead and grab Marcus Salio. Apologies to any of the Finnish people that watch this. 55 overall low elite. Okay, so these guys are actually coming out a little bit higher than I would have expected them to be. I thought we were going to get a bunch of 48 overalls, but not disappointed as of yet. So pick 141. Let's get back to that. Any medium elites going? Nope, there are not. Farmer went there. 59 overall to the Flyers. Who's this guy right here? Warren Harkins. 6'1", 20 years of age, 4 years away. No, thank you. We're going to go ahead and take our last elite, Ross Shanahan. And I know I could pick these guys up later, but just because I'm cheeseballing pretty hard here, I'm just going to grab them now. 53 overall low elite. So the absolute... let's go take a look at this actually, too. Let's go to offer trade and hop in here, and then let's sort by our potentials. Ooh, that looks pretty good, boys. 96 overall Harley. Paulson, Combs at 93. Goddamn things are looking good. Boakfist might be a little bit mad at us because we asked him to waive his no move clause as well, but he denied. He said he settled in here. Would have been nice. We would have been able to trade for that first overall pick if he had waived. Lindell, like I said, I was questioning moving on from him, but I think we'll hold on to him. Is he on his last year? No, he's got 6 years, but he's got no clauses, so we can move on from him anytime. And like I said, Broberg as well. His contract is up at the end of the year, so we'll just let him walk. But guys, we are set up pretty nicely right now with all of our picks, and we're only going to get better. So that's one thing to look forward to if you are a fan of the Testing the Draft series. Like I said, I know being a little bit cheesebally here, but the team pissed me off, boys. I was not going to stand for that disrespect, and this is what happens when you disrespect the GM of the Draft Kings, is that you're not a drafted player and you're gone. So let's see. Dadonov here going to Vegas. I wonder how he feels about that. Bordeloo, 64 overall, not bad. Trying to see some elites. Come on, give me some elites. No elites. Okay. 6th round pick. Let's see. Do we have one? Would be in the back half. If we do, we do. So let's go ahead and sim options, sim back to our pick. Call a quick timeout just because we have a couple, and see anybody else get taken off the board here. And I know this would have been a good spot for those low elite guys, but I wanted them, boys. I wanted them bad, and I wasn't going to lose them. We've already been through enough pain and hardship in the last couple episodes of this series. We aren't going through any more. So let's take a look. Can we get some more elites added to the roster? I'll have to take a look and see. This might be getting up there for most elites I've been able to find. We do have a goaltender here, Jesper Nordstrom. Medium starter potential, so not a bad safety valve if we do have to pull it if we can't find anybody else. Caden Sue. Low elite, 5 years. I think at this point we just take some shots. We just take some shots in the dark. We already got guys that are absolutely loaded. You saw the elites that we had throughout the system. So I think we just go ahead and just, you know, hope and pray that one of these maybe hits as an actual elite. So let's go ahead. From the Erie Otters, left defenseman, 5'11", 185, 18 years of age. Get on my team. Let's go. Low elite. I think that puts us up to 6 now. So that ties my highest record. If those first 2 picks weren't medium elite or medium top 4s, we would be we'd be absolutely through the moon right now with picks. But we'll see in a couple of years if we're able to get those guys up in terms of their development. So let's go ahead and sim to the next round. Oh baby. Oh, baby. What was a terrible, terrible situation has turned into absolute riches. We got Mr. Rogers going over to the Philadelphia Flyers there. Righty, lefty, 18 years of age, 6'3". Love that pick for them. Anybody else after us? No, there were not. 7th round. We do have one pick there. Do we have any other 7ths that I've picked up in my numerous transactions? We do not. So let's go ahead back to 202 and see if we can break the record for most elite players we've been able to take in one draft. Now, I do put some asterisks on this one, just because, like I said, of all the trades and all the tomfoolery that we've done. We do have Marek Mezi here, 1-bar or 2-bar low elite from Slovakia. That does have some weight. Let's see, Dawson McFarland, goaltender. Meh. Then we got maybe this Terry. Oh, we got Isaac Woods. I don't know if I've gone through this draft and looked for any peckers yet. Let's do a quick pecker search. We did call a timeout, so we got time. So let's go down real fast. Something I do for every draft, just because back in the day, I think it was NHL 13, I had a player, I think he was in the top 5 pick. His name was Tiny Pecker. So that's kind of what sparked the inspiration for the testing the draft, was just try to get through these and find how many names we could get. We have Jade Pecker as our goalie coach right now, so hopefully she doesn't retire. We do have a Sawyer Peckham and a Fabian Pekka. So those aren't bad, but no Tiny Peckers, unfortunately. We have F Park, so like that for him. Let me know, guys, as well. Like I said, I got the Tiny Pecker guy. Do you guys have any guys that you've had incredible names just come out of the draft that you've had to build and see their development? Mezzi here, which was a way off the board pick, not too bad. Low top 451 overall defensive defenseman, 18 years of age. So like I said, with that Seidenberg guy, happy we passed on him. Skip through these last couple loans. We got a long episode here today, so let's try to get through this a little bit faster, and then I can get to the Calgary Flames GM mode and get through our next season with them, which will probably be another year of dumpster fire, but we shall see. Did have to redo our entire AHL staff there because they all left and they didn't want their jobs back, so I said, okay, see you later. We don't have owner mode turned on, so I was able to sign whoever I wanted. I made sure they were still like wanting that role. I didn't just go find an NHL head coach and offer him $10 million to coach our AHL team. So there is that. But it should be interesting to see what we're able to accomplish in the next year if we still have a couple more years with that Calgary Flames GM mode, which you haven't checked that out. I'd definitely recommend it because it has been a doozy so far. Looks like we're not seeing any elites or anything come out in the 7th round. We're still waiting for that first big one like we had in 24 with Lee Brust, coming out as a 71 overall and then becoming like a 77 by the first season in the 7th round, which was insane. Last pick here by the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Medium top 6 defenseman. So look at that list, boys. We added a ton of prospects to the system, which is gonna maybe make the game crash. We'll see. But we do have a lot of top end talent that we were able to add that are gonna make an impact on the roster year one. Pretty much everyone from Reitz to Henry are gonna be probably on the roster day one. So it's going to be an interesting next episode to see what the team looks like at the beginning of next season. But like I said, in this, no more free agency, no trading for players. We're going all drafted now. Whoever's left in the system, we can maybe put it up for debate how fast we want to move on from him, but obviously drafted players take precedent. But guys, I appreciate you for watching the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts on all the trades, all the destruction that happened here in Quebec today, and subscribe to the channel if you want more NHL 25 or gaming content. Gonna set up the Halloween stream for Thursday, so make sure you tune in for that. Have a great day. Poof.